Hello, welcome to December's edition of Lyons Pride. I'm Steve Murray, principal of Chelmsford High School, here with our host, Mr. Al Thomas, and also Dean Lyons from Emerson House. So we're here to celebrate, as I said, December Students of the Month. And our first student of the month is from Whittier House. It's Ariana Bellan. Ariana takes several AP classes, AP English Literature and Composition, does AP Psychology, AP Spanish Language and Culture. She's also in the National Honor Society, the World Language Honor Society, and English Honor Society. She hopes to do a double major in college in psychology and art. And we're welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Good, very good.
So in terms of, when we talked over at the Rotary, you mentioned earlier that you were involved in art therapy. What is that? You want to explain?
Oh yeah, that's like basically, it's like a kind of like a lane of psychology, and it's basically when you help people using art and help them express their feelings using art. And I don't really do that currently, but that's what I'd like to do in the future, and that's how I would like involve both majors through art therapy and psychology.
What classes at Chelmsford High School have been the most beneficial for you?
Probably my art classes. So last year I took Studio 1, and then this year I'm in Studio 3 in Honors Art. And it's very helpful because it helps you like develop a sense of self-expression. And then the teacher, Mrs. Caranges, she's really helpful towards us, and she really helps us like develop our creativity and helps us find like opportunities within art. So it shows that you can make a career out of art, like with it being within galleries and other things like that.
Are you currently compiling an art portfolio?
Yeah, I made my portfolio mostly like through October, and still now, but it's like went down a little bit because we were making them for the college applications, and that was like a very rigorous process, and now it's like lightened up a little bit, but we're still working on it to add things even without college applications.
What piece would you say you're most proud of, or do you reflect and look at the most? And
actually, recently I've been working on this dog piece, and it's like a portrait of somebody's dog at the place that I work at. She asked me if I could make it for her, and at first I was like really nervous to make it because I was like, if this comes out bad, like it's not going to be good, because she was like asking me out of like an outside of school person, so it was like a lot of pressure on me because I'd never done that before. But I'm actually really proud of how it's coming out. I'm just finishing up the background now.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
yeah.
pretty accurate.
Thanks.
It's almost as if you took a picture.
Yeah, thank you
Really well
guys.
done. I mean, that's like a nice side business you could do.
Yeah, making portraits of people's dogs.
Or animals would be wonderful.
Yeah.
What kind of art's your favorite to do? There's so many different mediums. What would you?
I like drawing and painting more. I'm not really into the digital stuff because I'm not very like tech savvy, but I like doing like drawing and painting and more of like the traditional types.
When you were at Rotary, if I remember correctly, you talked about being drawn to public service. Want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I did the Thomas Jefferson Forum Club in my sophomore year, and we did an activity through the Lowell Wish like place. And what we did was we put together bags of like, it was like Christmas gifts for families, but it wasn't like gifts. Like it was like they needed food and clothes and things like that. And it was like, it kind of touched me a little bit because it was so sad to see like that people actually needed help like in our communities like close to here. So then through that I'm not doing that club anymore, but I do National Honor Society and English Honor Society and the language one, and they all help do community service activities like town cleanups and like all different events like that, like the Haunt for the Cure, and I like to participate in those.
Very good.
Is that what made you join Thomas Jefferson Forum?
Yeah, at first it was like a friend recommendation in sophomore year, and she was like, oh, like try it out, and I went and tried it out, and I really liked doing that one event and doing like all the community service. Then I stopped doing that, but then the National Honor Societies, I really loved the community service in those.
Very good.
So you also work at Starbucks.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that job.
I feel like it's helped me build my character a lot. It's definitely challenging at times because customers can definitely get upset about their coffees, but then at the same time, it like helped me build my time management skills, because at first it was really hard for me to balance like working 20 hours a week with school. Yeah. So it was definitely good to like balance those together, and it really helped me become like who I am today.
I still get confused over like the Venti Grande.
Yeah, there's a lot of different sizes. Just say whatever you want.
Good to know. All right, good advice.
Well, congratulations on your achievements at Chelmsford High School, and on behalf of the Chelmsford Rotary Club, I wish you the very best as you go on.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And our second student of the month is also from Whittier House, and it's Thomas Lopez. Thomas Lopez comes with a very packed schedule. He has AP English Literature and Composition. He has AP Calculus, AP Physics, and AP Research. He's also the National Honor Society, World Language Honor Society, English Honor Society. He's part of our orchestra, varsity cross country, and he's one of our many swimmers who are here today. He's our first of 3. So welcome, Thomas. How are you?
Pretty well.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's good. So what is it, when you look at your 4 years here, what is something that you'd like to do after high school?
After high school, well, I've applied to my colleges, and during the summer, I'm planning on choosing my college and going to college and kind of just experiencing college. So,
What are you interested in majoring in?
I'm interested in majoring engineering, mechanical, civil engineering, to more specifically.
What schools are you looking at?
Well, I hear from WPI this month. Later, I will be hearing from Stanford, Villanova, and Lafayette University.
Can't go wrong.
No,
Right.
those are
Good
great.
schools.
You were a freshman mentor. What made you want to be a freshman mentor, and what did you like about the program?
Well, first, I didn't have I've made a lot of mistakes my freshman year. I was kind of afraid of like my coursework. So I kind of I wish I had pushed myself a little bit more if I had knew more my freshman year. And I didn't want another person to make the same mistakes as I had. So that kind of inspired me to become a mentor and to help other people realize their own potential.
Good for you. You said you were in the Boy Scouts?
That is right.
Are
Yes.
you still in it?
Unfortunately, not anymore.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So does swimming take up most of your time?
Yes, I've swam. Yep.
What are your big events?
Oh well, I swim the 100 freestyle, 100 butterfly, and I also swim for the relay teams for the team. So.
What's the projection of the team going to be this year? You had a good year last couple of years.
Projected, we are. There is a chance for us to go undefeated this year and clinch the MVC title. And typically, we excel in states and sectional meets. So it's going to be very interesting because we have like 15 seniors this year. We have a lot of potential and talent in the swim team. So I forecast we'll be going pretty far.
Nice.
Excellent.
Sure, Mr. Vitale's happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Very good. Would you want to swim in college?
I hope so. The colleges I'm looking at, it's very difficult because they're all Division I's. But I do plan on still swimming for college. If not for the college team, then on like a club or like just with other people, you know. So.
Good.
Most facilities have U.S. swimming using their pools at other times, so that might work too if
Right.
they can't do it. So, where did you lifeguard?
I lifeguard at 2 places. So I lifeguard at Goldfish Swim School over at Westford. And I also, this summer, I applied and got accepted to work over at Russell Mill.
Very good.
So
Did you ever have any emergency that you had to deal with, or were you lucky?
fortunately, no. We didn't have any, aside from the usual complaints of little kids and, just telling them to, be careful and such. It was all, luckily, no health hazards, no
good.
saving.
Glad to hear that. Again, on behalf of the Chelmsford Rotary Club, I want to congratulate you on your success in all these different areas at Chelmsford High School and wish you the very best as you go on to college. Okay?
Thank you.
Congratulations, Thomas.
Good job, Thomas. All right, our next student is from Emerson House. Her name is Abigail Segal. Abby is a very accomplished student. She's currently taking 5 advanced placement courses. She's a member of the National Honor Society, the CHS Theater Guild, CHS Art Club. She is a member of the varsity tennis team, which she'll be the captain this year. She's a freshman mentor. She's quite an accomplished magician. She's a member of our Temple Youth Group and looks to attend college next year and study liberal arts with a concentration in biology. So welcome, Abby.
Hello.
It's great to have you here. We had your brother here last month. You're here this month. So great honor for the family to have both you and your brother here representing Emerson House. And so welcome. It's pretty amazing. So tell us a little bit about what, you have a pretty packed schedule. How do you balance all this? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I guess I definitely do everything, like I make sure I do everything that I love to do, so I don't really think about, oh, I have to go to this or this. It's just mostly what I'm passionate about, and I think I definitely keep a planner and make sure that I know I don't overschedule myself too much and then have 2 events on the same day, so I try to, I guess, spread it out.
Yeah. You have, in my 5 years at Emerson, I'm in at Chelmsford High School working with kids in Emerson House, you're one of the most modest kids, because you could clearly brag about all the amazing things that you do. You keep a pretty low profile, you're very modest. It's you're a pretty amazing kid. When do you have time when did you learn magic? That's pretty impressive, because it's not something a lot of kids are interested in, so.
Thanks. Well, I learned it about 6 years ago. I got into it from a magician who was my Sunday school teacher, and then I started on YouTube, and then I just kind of took off, and then I started volunteering, doing magic at preschools, and then it went up to schools and to camps and nursing homes.
Did you work with the Rotary Club?
I did a little bit. I did a little
she
preview
came
show.
to a meeting. It's fantastic, and we'd like to help her put a show on if we can figure out when we can do it. I've been right out straight myself because we've got a couple of big events coming up, and maybe when we get past that, we can do something.
So you have like a following on like Facebook or social media?
Not too much. I'm mostly just word of mouth, and I have an Instagram, but I don't use it anymore.
That's right.
In 10 years, we're looking at an HBO special. That'd be nice.
So
cool.
you were recently, so you're part of the theater club.
Yep.
Theater Guild, I should say. So were you in the most recent production?
Yeah, I was in the ensemble for Fiddler on the Roof, and yeah, that was definitely it's been really fun doing theater. I've just been doing the musicals each year, and it's cool. It just gets me out of my comfort zone, and I get to meet a lot of people and be with my friends. It's really fun.
Great. What's the time commitment for the musical?
The musical, this year was a good amount because the ensemble was in a lot of the scenes, so I would say we were there like 3 to 4 days a week for anywhere from 2 to 7 hours at the end, so that's a lot.
That's a commitment.
What schools are you looking at?
I'm looking at a lot of liberal arts schools like Colby and Bowdoin and Bates, and then Connecticut College and Dickinson.
Very good.
Liberal arts schools.
So National Honor Society, you hold a leadership role within the group.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I'm a co-vice president in the group, and that's definitely been one of the biggest things I think I've done this year. We just led on Monday the induction ceremony for the juniors and the seniors, and that was really cool to be a part of something like that. And then we did an event at Holy Cross where we led a lecture on serving those who serve. So we just talked about our event that we did in October, Haunt for a Cause, and just other ways that we can serve and express our gratitude to people who serve us. And
So as you're in middle of senior year, you reflect back on your 4 years at Chelmsford High School. What has been one of the most rewarding things for you?
I would say just rewarding getting to know everybody and getting really close to all my teachers and doing, like I do art too, and I've loved getting to do some of the projects that we've done through that. And that's about it, I would say.
All right.
Do you want to comment quickly about your memory project, because that seemed really important to you the other day?
Yeah, that was something I did last year, and I'm planning on doing it again this year, and that was just, I drew a picture, a portrait of a child who lives in Poland, and he's in an orphanage, and I drew a portrait of him, then we send it back to the child.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Chelmsford Rotary Club, and best of luck as you go forward.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Abby.
Thank you.
All right. Our next Emerson Student of the Month is Felix Huang. Felix is also taking multiple advanced placement courses. He is also taking honors art portfolio, writing for college, animation. He is a member of our National Honor Society. He is a member of the varsity swim team. He's quite an accomplished sculptor, and if you have the opportunity to visit Chelmsford High School, he has created an amazing sculpture that now adorns right outside of the main office. It's pretty amazing. He enjoys riding his unicycle. He's an accomplished yo-yo master, and I think he's a pretty awesome kid. So it's great to have you here. Welcome, Felix.
Thank you.
So the most obvious is the sculpture you created. So can you give us a little background as to where that massive piece of wood came from that you sculpted into this amazing lion?
Of course, yeah. So we in the town of Chelmsford in around 1891, a sapling was planted by the first graduating class of Chelmsford High School, and around 120 years later, the tree had to be cut down due to sickness and a blizzard. And about 5 years ago, Mr. Greenfield, former woodshop teacher at Chelmsford High School, he acquired a piece of the branch from the tree, and he wanted to do something special with the piece that he got. And he was looking for a sculptor, and he spread word around that he needed a special student to take this task. And he finally found me during my sophomore year. And the next year, during my junior year, I committed my whole year to plan and carve this sculpture out of this historical beech log. And we came up with a lot of concepts and ideas, and we kept in mind that we want to represent the school. So that's why we decided to carve a lion with each cub. There's cubs around the base of the lion, and each of them represents one of the core values of our Chelmsford High School.
It's great. Yeah, you dedicated yourself to that project multiple years, many hours, long hours over the summer. So it's quite an amazing accomplishment, and we'll certainly be adorning the main office area for many years. I mean, the ceremony that was held was quite impressive. We had the press there, Lowell Sun, many representatives from your community, so it was a wonderful event, a great honor. And what I thought was so impressive was that you wanted to invite every single teacher that you had from Chelmsford High School over your 4 years. So I thought that was pretty amazing. It says a great deal about you, your character as a person. But I know that doesn't just truly define you, this one sculpture. I also know that you're quite an accomplished stone sculptor.
Yeah.
And you learned that craft. Who did you learn that from?
Mr. Victor Lewis and Miss Ying Pete. I learned stone carving outside of school on my weekends over at Acton.
That's great. What do you plan to do after high school? Because you can go many different directions because you have so many different talents. So what are your plans, Felix?
I plan on going to art school and study art and sculpture, and hope to become an artist, and maybe also some computer science as well.
Any specific schools you're looking at?
Yes, I like the schools, Mass Art, UMass Dartmouth, RISD, and some other more.
Awesome. So with the yo-yo, what's like the one trick that you've mastered and that you can do?
It's the trick. It's called the helicopter. It's when you start to tilt the yo-yo on its side and then you swing it in a circle like a helicopter blade. It's a little tricky, but when everybody sees it, it's very cool.
I'm sure if Principal Murray tried that, he'd hurt himself.
Exactly.
Well, you get hit in the head, I
that
guess,
might
if you
help.
make a mistake.
That might help.
Well, again, you've had a great career in so many different areas at Chelmsford High School. I congratulate you on behalf of the Chelmsford Rotary Club and wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Felix. Nice job. All right, moving over to Hawthorne House. Our first Hawthorne Student of the Month is Elizabeth Nickerson. Beth is, once again, an accomplished student, taking multiple advanced placement courses. She's a member of 3 different honor societies: the National Honor Society, English Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society. She's a member of the treble choir. member of our a cappella group called the Crescendos. She's a member of the CHS Theater Guild, CHS Yearbook. She has an amazing resume. We could talk a long time about all the wonderful things you've done at Chelmsford High School. She's volunteered, and she's looking to attend Salve Regina, Fairfield, Providence, so quite a accomplished list of schools, Boston College, so, and you want to be a teacher one day, which is amazing. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, what is the class that you feel in the 4 years you've valued the most and made this biggest impact?
I'm taking early childhood 3 right now, and it's helping me since I want to be a teacher. That's why I decided to take the class. I'm taking an independent study as well to early childhood 2. So in the earlier ones, we go to the preschool and to Harrington and work with the younger kids, which was fun. And this year, I get the opportunity to student teach at McCarthy. I'm student teaching for 8th grade right now, because I'm hoping to be a history teacher, so I'm thinking older kids. And so I'm student teaching with Mr. Sullivan, the 8th grade history teacher over at McCarthy. What's
been the most rewarding, or what have you really enjoyed about student teaching?
I've liked, right now it's working with the kids. I'm really excited about teaching and everything, so it's just observing Mr. Sullivan and seeing what he's doing, because I had him when I was in McCarthy as well, and I enjoyed having him as a teacher, so it's been fun to be back at the school.
Definitely a different perspective when you're observing a teacher.
Yes.
As a student teacher rather than as a student. So
right.
What are some of the things you've learned about the craft or the art of teaching?
It's definitely difficult, I think, just being in the room. It's not always easy to control, especially a bunch of 8th graders. But I'm still excited, and I think it's interesting of how they're able to teach the kids who, it seems to me, are always crazy and stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. So the Crescendos, amazing group. How long have you been a member? It says you're also the leader of the group. You want to talk about that role?
Yes, as just one of the seniors, I'm a leader in the group, but I've been in it since sophomore year, so this is my 3rd year. And it's been fun. We've been in a couple competitions last year. We just got into Any Voices, which is a big competition that's happening at Chelmsford in January, or in February. And so that's exciting. It's our first year getting into that one.
So you're a member of the Theater Guild as well. Were you a part of the musical?
Yes, I was. I was also in the ensemble with Abby.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been in it for 4 years. I've really enjoyed doing theater. I like the musicals the best, I think.
Are you going to do the competition play as well, or?
I am, yes. I was just cast in the competition play. I'm excited for that.
What's the title of that?
We don't have a title yet. It's a working script right now.
All right.
But I'm looking forward to it.
Super.
Do you think you'll try to do theater, excuse me, and/or music when you move on to college?
I'm hoping to continue it, maybe not as my major or anything, but as a club or an activity at the school, yes.
The yearbook. What's your role with the CHS yearbook?
I'm just on the staff, helping out and everything. It's been fun. I liked making the yearbooks.
Good job.
Yes.
Very big job.
How far along are we here?
Good, yeah, we're good.
Completion?
Yes, close.
All right, sounds good.
And what got you involved with the Susan G. Komen 3-day walk for breast cancer?
My mom's been doing it for a couple of years
Where is that?
before me. Well, they've been doing walks in many places all over. We did one in Minnesota. So we did Minneapolis and St. Paul. There was a walk we did the summer after my sophomore year, so a couple of years ago. And it was a lot of training for that, because there's a schedule that they give you, and we trained for about 6 months leading up to the walk, because it's 20 miles a day for 3 days.
Oh, wow. It's a huge walk.
What was the hardest part?
The hardest part was just the whole 20 miles a day thing. It's difficult.
Walk part.
Yeah.
Did it become a mental challenge?
Yeah, it was tricky but I wanted to finish it, and I'm very happy that I ended up doing it.
And it's beautiful out there, too.
Yes, it was pretty.
Well, you've been tremendous success in lots of different areas at Chelmsford High School.
Thank you.
And on behalf of the Chelmsford Rotary Club, I wish you the very best as you go on next year.
Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job, Beth.
And our last student of the month today is from Hawthorne House. It's Ryan Hayes. Ryan Hayes has a very packed schedule. He has 3 AP classes of psychology, literature and composition, Spanish literature and culture. He's in the National Honor Society, English Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society, and in his spare time he does cross country, he does swimming and diving and spring track, and he's got a lot of achievements. He was MVC All-Star selection 3 years in a row and an MVC All-Star in track as well. Ryan is looking at Penn State, Georgia Tech, and as well as some other schools, and he wants to study biology or neuroscience and become either medical or scientific researcher. Congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
You have quite a schedule. You're such a quiet, reserved person. No one would even know all this much you're involved in. This is fantastic. Let's start off with swimming. What is your best event?
I used to do the 500 a lot, which was complete torture because it'd be a 7 or 8 minute race, and by the end your body just starts to shut down. But a lot of new kids started coming in, and coach realized I was a lot better at sprinting than I was at long distance, so I started doing the 50 free, which is like the exact opposite of the 500. And I've been doing a lot better in that, and I've definitely enjoyed meets more because I'm not like passing out afterwards or anything.
Is that what you used to do, Mr. Thomas?
No.
No.
No. He's right about the 500. The only thing that's good about the 500 is you can get drops in it easier than you can swim all season to get a 2/10 of a second drop in the 50. That's the problem. Do you dive?
I do not dive myself, but my brother does dive.
Oh, okay. How many divers are there this year? 'Cause sometimes there's a
This
problem.
year, we're kind of fluctuating. We kind of have like 3.5.
Yeah.
Felix is just starting out with diving, but we've had 3 divers who've been doing it consistently, and then Felix
That's
is
good.
starting to get some of his beginner dives. So he's expanding his skill set once again.
Gee, but he doesn't have enough to do
Yeah, exactly.
because it's so hard.
Was there a teacher at Chelmsford High School that you really liked the most and felt that you valued a lot from?
The most value I'd gotten out of a teacher was definitely Miss Collins. Miss Collins, I did honors chemistry and AP chemistry with her, and it was a very difficult class. It was very hard to like pass tests because just of how hard the coursework was. So it really taught me the meaning of hard work because I had to come in extra, stay after, and it was the first class that really felt like a college class to me. So it kind of expanded my horizons on how difficult a course could be.
So at the Rotary Breakfast, you were talking about some schools you had visited, and I believe you had said you just returned from or had visited University of Southern California.
Yes.
What do you think about the campus? What do you think about the school?
The campus was insanely nice. It was right in the middle of LA. It's right up on, if LA is a bowl, it's like right at the edge of the bowl. It's close to the mountains. There's a train that goes right to the beach, and there's just palm trees everywhere as people are skateboarding around. They're sun tanning right in the campus.
As it's 30 degrees out right now.
Yeah, it was very nice over there. The weather itself was insanely nice, but the campus and the school is very diverse. It's a very good school for all different fields, and it's not just specializing in one area. You can really go there for anything.
For you. Would you want to swim in college?
I'd consider doing a sport in college if it like really got me a lot of money or it's like secured me a spot in the school. But the 2 sports I'm doing, it would be like the amount of work that goes into them. I'd be very tired afterwards. It'd be pretty hard to keep up with work, so I'd really have to consider doing it. I'd rather do an activity or like a team-based thing like ultimate frisbee or lacrosse or something off to the side because you can still be physically active, but it's not as big as a commitment.
I can see that.
So it says you also are a member of Best Buddies.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I've been doing Best Buddies kind of on and off whenever they had meetings for the past few years. Yep. My favorite moment I had was when we went to the new bowling alley that's around here.
Yep.
And we took all of them bowling, and I drove out there. There were a bunch of kids there, and we had like a pizza party and a bowling party. And they really enjoyed it. I really liked being with some of the kids that I'd seen around school and some of the kids who were on my teams who had disabilities. And it was a really good bonding experience for everybody.
It's usually more rewarding for the kids who are the mentors.
It is. It's really rewarding just to be around them.
Yeah.
They're so extroverted and they're so much fun to be around. Their personalities of all the kids in Best Buddies are really nice.
Absolutely.
So it was just super enjoyable to be around them and socialize with
That's
them.
awesome.
Well, best of luck, whether it's Southern Cal. If I went to Southern Cal, I think it major on that transportation over to the beach. But no, you've done a great job, and on behalf of the Chelmsford Rotary Club, I wish you the very best as you go on, whether it's Penn State or any of these other places. Okay?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good job,
Thank
Ryan.
And that concludes December's Student of the Month. Thank you for joining us. I want to say congratulations to all our Students of the Month for December. Also look forward to seeing you in January when we celebrate January Students of the Month. On behalf of our hosts, Al Thomas and Dean Bobby Lyons, we say thank you. See you in January.